Update. Boyfriend says my cooking proves I'm not a gold digger. Original post. I, 29 female, have been with my boyfriend, 35 male, for 4 months. He is a lawyer and has a very stressful job. To give some backstory, things were amazing in the beginning. He took me to fancy restaurants, cooked dinners by candlelight, and I could tell he was very nervous about making a good impression. He would kiss me from head to toe and tell me that I'm perfect, his princess, etc., etc. It was honestly a bit much. Over time, he became more short-tempered and needed my attention a lot more. I slowly began cooking while he was too busy working to help. Then he could only have sex for 45 minutes before going back to work. One night, I joked that he could only have sex if he worked for it, and he became greatly upset and told me I had crossed a major boundary. Things started to get a little weird. He told me he doesn't usually date women who work in marketing, but it seemed he made an exception for me. Then, sometimes he would power call me if I didn't answer right away, 4 to 5 times in a row. He started becoming a bit jealous. For example, I mentioned that Zach Galifianakis is funny, and my boyfriend's face turned completely dark. I had a friend paint me nude, and my boyfriend said, "I don't know how I feel about someone seeing my woman naked." I mentioned an ex-boyfriend, and he wanted to know what school he went to, then became super defensive and aggravated. Sometimes at night, I turn my phone on airplane mode, and my boyfriend explained that it makes him feel disconnected and unsafe, and asked if I could please check in and check out before doing so. From my understanding, I thought we were dating, until one day he started talking about partnerships and his needs, etc., etc. Finally, he stated that he is paranoid about gold diggers. He said that because he has a high-income job, he doesn't want women who only request fancy restaurants. He said it's good that I cook for him because it proves that I'm not a gold digger and that I'm not like those other women. The thing is, I don't want to always cook, but now I feel kind of guilted about it. He's become a bit weird about communication, and he will literally say, "Okay, I expect to hear from you by 6 p.m. He said he needs our partnership to be organized and predictable. He needs to know I will respond within a certain time frame, and if I can't do that, it won't work. I just found these exchanges really bizarre." Now for the top advice before reading the update. Yep, 4 months is about how long it takes for the mask to slip. Congrats, you've met the real him. It only gets worse from here. Honestly, I'm getting major power-hungry and obsessive vibes from him. He will try to escalate things to see how far he can push your boundaries. It's called a test. Tell him no to anything and watch his reaction. Controlling men think boundaries are an assault on them. He will retaliate against any attempt to assert your needs and set healthy boundaries. I took about 48 hours to myself, saying I wasn't feeling well and needed a bit of space. He said, "Take all the time you need." But then when he did talk, he said how unsafe and angry he felt, and that hopefully in time I could win his trust again. Oh my god, the part about him being jealous of Zach Galifianakis is literally killing me. I don't know why this is so funny to me, LMAO. I tried to focus on all the other obvious red flags, but I just can't. If my man got mad and acted like I stole his manhood because I laughed when Alan from The Hangover said, "It's not a purse, it's a satchel," I would get right up and leave. I would be done. No more. OP, break it off. Think about a month from now when you're watching Magic Mike and laugh at Channing Tatum, and he burns the whole freaking house down. Yeah, I lost it as well. Old Zach the Heartbreaker. Who would have thought? Your whole post is one giant red flag. He love-bombed you in the beginning, and now you're seeing the real him. Absolutely this. Your post has almost every sign of an abusive relationship's evolution. Right now, you're the lobster in a pot of water, and he's the chef. Slowly, ever so slowly, turning up the heat. Slowly enough that you don't really notice until it's too late and you're boiling. Throw your lobster claws out of that pot and scurry away before you reach the boiling point. All metaphors aside, it's only a matter of time before he starts isolating you from your friends and family and controlling even more of your life than he already is. He's showing you who he actually is, and unfortunately, it's not the guy from the very beginning. Please leave him. Now for the update a month later. Holy turd balls, mother of pearl. What the heck was that relationship? We broke up shortly after I posted in that forum. By the end, things had become so bad that even I, insecure and needy, didn't have the patience anymore. He needed me to comply with all his rules, listen to his work problems, talk him through his anxiety attacks, and cater to him sexually. It was too much. When we broke up, he told me how devastated he was and how important I was to him. He manipulated me by saying we can only be friends and that we should meet just to test the waters. It was the most confusing time of my life. He started creating weird communication rules after the breakup, saying things like, "I need space. I cannot talk now. Contact me in 2 weeks," because he needed to heal. But then he would call me and tell me all about his work problems, how he got a raise, etc., etc. Then he would flip to the other side and angrily tell me, "I never want to be in a relationship with you again. I want to see other people. We are over forever." You know what happened? I woke up. I realized that this man has serious issues that have absolutely nothing to do with me. I can honestly say it felt like being sucked into a freaking vortex, and we only dated seriously for 7 weeks. Exhausting. But all of your comments truly helped me. You all have no idea how many times I read them, pretty much every day. So thank you. Thank you. I'm moving on and feeling strong. Good for you for waking up. Next time he calls, answer and tell him that under no circumstances is he to contact you for any reason. Then block him everywhere. I doubt I will hear from him again. He's done with me forever, and nothing will change that. Oh, he'll be back. I recommend resisting the urge to ask him something like, "Didn't you say we were over forever and nothing would change that?" Because breakups are when men like this kill their exes. Just don't respond. Google extinction burst now so you know what to expect, because that's what he'll do when he can't get a reaction out of you. The longer you wait before responding, the longer he'll bombard you next time. This time will be the shortest amount of time before he stops. Don't read or listen to anything he says. If you catch a glimpse and want to respond, immediately distract yourself with something else until you forget about it. That may take a while. Do not respond under any circumstances. If he threatens you, and I expect he will, make sure you have people you trust nearby whenever possible. Maybe stay with a friend or your parents for a bit. Yep, I dated a guy for 6 weeks who told me that. He stalked me for 5 goddamned years, even while he was married. I was about to say, this is the exact type of guy who turns into a horrible stalker because they desperately crave control, and being dumped pushes them over the edge. Every single man I've dated, with only one exception, contacted me multiple times after we were over. It didn't matter if I was the dumper or if he was. Guys always want to come back. At first, I'd always write back, "No thanks." But then I realized that just encourages them, so I learned to ignore them. Next story. Husband told me it's his house and that I live at his mercy, and I don't know what to do. Yesterday, my husband, 29 male, and I, 28 female, had an argument during which he said something that completely shattered me. He told me that it's his house, that I live there at his mercy, and that I have no right to tell him what to do. All because I asked him to put his clothes in the laundry basket. Hearing that felt like a punch to the gut, especially after everything I've sacrificed to be with him. I gave up my career, left my family and friends, and moved to a foreign country I knew nothing about. And now I'm here without any real support system. He earns a very high salary, and although I also work remotely, I make much less and can't contribute financially in the same way. Since the argument, I've been extremely stressed, so much so that I've been physically sick and throwing up. For the first time, I truly regret the choices I made. He has been apologizing repeatedly, especially after seeing how badly this has affected me, and says he was overwhelmed at work and unfairly took it out on me. But I'm struggling to trust him or move past what he said. Before we got married, I was hesitant because it felt like such a huge risk, and he begged me to take that leap with him. Now I'm scared that what he said during that argument reflects what he really believes deep down. If that's truly how he sees me, I know I will leave, but the thought of returning to my home country and rebuilding my life from scratch is terrifying. I honestly don't know what to do. The longer you stay, the more at his mercy you will be. Figure out your exit plan. Once that's determined, you will figure out the rest. 200% this, Time to raise some FU money, so when you need to finally tell him that to his face, you can move with feline grace and walk out the door, landing on your feet. He doesn't value you or your contribution to his life, or he would not have said that in that way. Also, this is a wildly disproportionate response to being asked to do a simple task he should do anyway. Right? Like, what the heck? Who says that to the person they're supposed to love more than anyone else on earth over some freaking socks? I swear, men will blow up their marriages rather than just being freaking normal. Do not gaslight yourself into disbelieving what he's already shown you. You gave up everything, and he thinks you're at his mercy. I would be gone so fast. Abusers love to keep you away from friends and family, so you have no support system and become reliant only on them. He knows you're in a foreign country and feels like he's trapped you. Trust that it will get worse. This was a little test to see if you'll let him get away with screaming at you. Verbal abuse can lead to physical abuse. Consider leaving without telling him and staying with your parents for a couple of weeks until you sort yourself out. You're still young. Starting again and rebuilding is better than living life at someone else's mercy. My daughter moved overseas for a partner where she is more isolated and dependent. I always made it clear that if anything went wrong, she could always come right back to my house and start over in a new direction. Rebuilding isn't terrible. It's an adventure with growth potential. Life offers many opportunities to reinvent yourself before you're dead. This would only be one of them. Last story. I feel like rethinking marriage with fiancé after New Year's outburst. We, 26 male and 24 female, have been together for 6 years, and our marriage is set for late 2026. She came over for New Year's. Before midnight, she ended up passing out. She sleeps diagonally, so I had no room in the bed. I tried to wake her to move over, but she's a heavy sleeper and that doesn't always work. I ended up going to the couch to sleep, so I'd have more room to stretch out, and I figured I'd let her keep sleeping. At 5 a.m., she came out to the living room. I woke up because I heard the door open. When I glanced over, she looked visibly upset and angry. I followed her to the bedroom, where she told me how upset she felt waking up alone in bed. I tried explaining what I mentioned above. She started getting angrier in her tone, repeating how alone and disregarded she felt waking up alone. I let her know it wasn't cool being woken up to this, and that her tone was really disrespectful. She responded by saying, "I'm not speaking to you disrespectfully." The same trend continued for the next 15 minutes, and at that point, I started getting frustrated with the situation and told her she should have left me on the couch to sleep. That obviously wasn't the right move, because from that point on, the conversation shifted to that remark being the main topic of the argument. As the conversation continued to get heated, I told her, "I'm not going to talk to someone who's being disrespectful to me and brushing off my concerns. I need to sleep, and I don't appreciate waking up to something like this." The conversation continued, and she said, "I can't do that. I'm going to leave, and I'm having a panic attack, and you need to talk to me." At this point, I started speaking angrily and told her she was free to leave at any point, but that she should wait until later in the morning because of all the cops and possibly drunk drivers on the road from the New Year's celebrations. I tried to walk out of the bedroom, and she ended up blocking the door. She's done this before. I gently tried to move her out of the way. I ended up not leaving the room. Afterward, we talked things through, albeit not perfectly, and we resolved the issue 1 to 2 hours later. After everything, I'm still shocked. She's done similar things in the past, where she will wear me down for an hour. No matter what I say, she won't reflect on how she's speaking to me. When I finally blow up because I've been talked down to for an hour, suddenly I'm the bad guy for speaking to her that way. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But moments like these leave me feeling confused, hurt, and lost. I try to communicate what she's doing, and she immediately denies it. I'm scared of marriage because it feels like she can't maturely communicate how she feels without mentally imploding, and sometimes she gets unhinged. Any advice is appreciated. Thanks. I might be mislabeling this, but this sounds like abuse on her part, emotional or mental. Wearing you down and blocking you from leaving so she can continue, then turning it around on you when you've tried to be calm and rational through her tirade and inevitably reach your breaking point? That's manipulative and abusive. Behavior like this doesn't get better with marriage. Yeah, that's what has really upset me. She stood behind my car a couple of months ago, preventing me from leaving, and the door blocking has happened twice after that incident. It's been very scary for me. When things start to get hectic, I want a little space, and she will prevent me from getting that space. Good Lord, why are you engaged to her? It was exhausting to read your post, so I can't imagine how exhausting it is to live it. Is this what you want your life to be? Right? This woman is self-absorbed and completely incapable of understanding anyone else's feelings but her own. We met when I was 19 and she was 18. Nothing felt forced when I met her, and it felt like I had known her my whole life. I'm not very experienced with relationships because she's my first. I love her as a person, but I'm questioning whether she would be a good partner, given her trauma and what she struggles with. It's worn me down over the years, and I think I've finally cracked from the constant issues and outbursts. You can love her as a person and not marry her. That's what I recommend if you value your future inner peace, sleep, health, stress levels, and joy. This will not improve by waiting or being patient. This is the miserable person she is. She likes it and expects you to fully adapt to please her. Not a good marriage partner. You got a lecture over something that should have been an oops, sorry about taking up the whole bed. I wouldn't get married to that person. I have a similar situation with my husband of many years. I go to bed later than him, and I regularly have to get him to shift to his side and remake the bed with him in it. It doesn't bother him at all, and he would be more concerned than upset if I ended up on the couch. She's making it all about herself. Yeah, I told her all she had to do was come out and give me a kiss or something, tell me to come to bed with her, and that would be it. I didn't understand why it had to turn into what it turned into.